Howdy y'all and welcome. Hope everybody's doing well through so far. Today is actually my dad's birthday. It's his 50th birthday, so make sure you wish him a happy birthday. He will greatly appreciate that. Now on to the tropics, as we do have the Atlantic heating up out there in activity. We have a 60% chance over here in the main development region. We have a 30% chance, a low wind chance, off the coast of the Carolinas, and we have Tropical Storm Dexter, which ain't going to impact anybody. Not even going to impact Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. It's actually going to remain a tropical storm all the way through Sunday morning, though, which, even though it's not going to impact y'all, just please be aware of dangerous ocean conditions out here, as this is going to remain a fish storm. As we take a look at the Pacific Basin, it has been a very active hurricane season out there, and we do have another tropical storm Henriette, which may actually move north of the Hawaiian Islands, which may still cause impacts to y'all, as it's going to remain a tropical storm through Monday morning. And other than Henriette, we have a 90% chance of tropical cyclone formation down here in Central America, all the way up into the coast of southern Mexico. So let's go ahead and take a look at the satellite first before we get into the models. And we take a look down here at the main development region, we definitely have some spinning roos out here, which could turn into something. Any of these storms out here could turn into a tropical depression or a tropical storm in the next 7 days. Take a look out here off the coast of the Carolinas. Not much out there, but will change, low wind chance. At the most, I think it's going to cause some significant flooding over here along the coast of the Carolinas, so I'll show you that here in a little bit. Last but not least, we have Tropical Storm out here, Tropical Storm Dexter, which could cause some dangerous ocean conditions over here in Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, but expected to remain a fish storm. Now we're going to take a look at the simulated infrared radar here to take a look at whether or not these tropical cyclone formation chances will actually turn into anything and impact us here in the near term. Now we're going to take a look at the 60% chance here in the main development region. If Saharan dust don't take hold of it, expected to turn into something as we head into August 11th, and where it goes from here is to be determined. It could make a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn, it just depends, but if we rely on the GFS, it's looking like it could make a right-hand turn and avoid the homeland, which could impact Bermuda, but of course this can will change. I will let y'all know on X and Facebook, by the way, on these tropical cyclone chances if they turn into anything, so don't be scared, but be prepared, of course. And then once that fizzles out, once we get past August 11th through 12th time frame, doesn't look like much is going to be happening out there. Some good news. We'll wind this back again. We see Dexter just churning along out there as a fish storm. Those poor fishes out there. And then we get that 30% chance off the coast of the Carolinas. I think at most it could possibly turn into a tropical depression. I don't think it's going to get there, but regardless of the strength, I think it's going to be bringing a lot of heavy rainfall over here to the Carolinas. Bring a lot of flash flooding to y'all out there and some dangerous ocean conditions. So be aware of this if you are a beach goer heading out to the beach, especially we're heading back to school here soon for the kiddos. So last minute vacations down there, please be aware of this 30% chance of cyclone formation out there on the beaches. But other than that, I think once we get past August 12th, I think we're probably not going to see much out there. Although we do still got to keep an eye out here in the main development region. And of course, the GFS loves to print tropical storms and hurricanes once we move past 200 hours out. And it's doing just this right here. So these are nothing burgers. Don't keep an eye on these just yet. But I will keep y'all informed, like I keep saying, on X and on Facebook. Now, the modes for tropical storm and hurricane development, at least one of them is the sea surface temperatures. And we can see currently down here in the Gulf is very, very favorable. Almost boiling sea surface temperatures down there. And we can see the main development region starting to heat up as well. And if you did watch my August Outlook video, I did say that the Atlantic is going to start picking up in activity compared to the Pacific Basin. So we got to keep an eye on the Atlantic this time of year. We are heading into the meat and potatoes of hurricanes, which is from August all the way into October. Now, one thing that can suppress development is actually Saharan dust. And we do have that out there, by the way, and that's why it hasn't formed anything yet, because we still have that Saharan dust out there. And once this starts to weaken down and go away, and it starts coming up here into some favorable conditions, then we could have a tropical depression, or at most tropical storm, or even a hurricane here in the near term. So again, I'll be keeping y'all informed. Don't be scared, but be prepared, and always rely on your local sources. Don't just rely on me, rely on anybody else. Please make sure you are getting your information from a trusted source, as there's always a lot of clickbait out there. So Other than the Atlantic Basin, we do have some activity in the Pacific Basin. As we can see here on satellite, we have that 90% chance of formation off the coast of Mexico and into Central America. I know Central America is cut off here. We'll get into that in a little bit, actually. But we can see that tropical storm, which is going to be moving just north of Hawaii. So I'm missing y'all, so that's some good news. And let's actually take this in wide view. Now, this is the wide view. This is the best I can get, but we can see best we can those 90% chance of cyclone formation down here, and we got that tropical storm. So let's go ahead and take a look at the simulated infrared to see where those systems are going to be going. And one thing about the Pacific Basin, as far as I know anyway, we don't have to worry about Saharan dust out there at all. We just have to worry about the trade winds and all that. But we can see that tropical storm is going to just miss Hawaii to the north, but y'all can still get impacts from it even though it's heading towards the north. It could still come in on some dangerous ocean conditions, especially out by the beaches. And we got that 90% chance over here, Central America and Mexico. At most, I think it's going to become a tropical storm. Maybe a hurricane, but I think at most it's going to be a tropical storm and bring a lot of heavy rainfall over here to the coast of Mexico. As far as if it'll impact Hawaii, quite a ways away from Hawaii, so I don't think it'll impact you on the short term, but long term, definitely got to keep an eye on it, as I'm thinking the Pacific Basin is going to start to slow down and act as we head further into August compared to the Atlantic. And for kicks and giggles, let's go ahead and take a look at the sea surface temperatures. Now, compared to the Atlantic Basin, not as favorable, but out here off the coast of Mexico is very, very favorable. And it's starting to become more favorable out here by Hawaii. That's why we have that tropical storm, which is going to move towards the north of y'all. And it's going to work over those sea surface temperatures. And it's looking like the sea surface temperatures are going to start to stabilize as we head further into August. And of course, off the coast of Mexico always seems to be favorable. So, again, it will change, of course. And I will keep y'all informed on X and Facebook, as I always do, so make sure you go follow those pages to keep updated on the tropics, as it's looking like the Atlantic is going to start to heat up here very, very soon. I'll show y'all the NAM 12 kilometer model to show you that 30% chance of cyclone formation. You can see it's going to be bringing a lot of precipitation with it over here by the Carolinas, and it's just expected to get out of here as we head into and past this weekend. As far as precipitation totals from this is going to be the main threat, by the way, from this, as it's not expected to strengthen to anything more than a tropical depression, I don't think. But we can see as we head into and past this weekend, I would expect probably an inch to possibly 2 inches at the most here in the Carolinas, so definitely be aware of this, especially out by the beaches of the Carolinas. So the Atlantic's starting to heat up in tropical activity, y'all. Now on to the severe weather threats for the next few days, as we do have some significant severe weather to worry about. We do have a marginal risk today, low wind threat, but that's not the main story. The main story is going to be on Thursday, as we have an enhanced risk issued over here in North Dakota with a slight risk extending all the way out into Montana and over here by Minnesota. The main threat's going to be really all hazards, 5% chance for tornadoes with a 2% surrounding that. Keep in mind, significant tornadoes can still happen on low wind days. The main threat's going to be high winds and large hail. As you can see, there is a significant threat for high winds, 30% hatched area, and a 30% hatched area for large hail. Now, the same story is going to be on Friday as well. There's an enhanced risk issued really for the same areas over here in the Dakotas, all the way up into Minnesota. Now, we don't know what the main threats will be, but of course, significant hazards are going to be possible. As we can see, the probabilistic outcomes, it's going to be a 30% hatched area issued for, I would probably say, hail and high winds is what I would say, with I would say a 5% chance for tornadoes. Now, of course, they haven't issued anything, so please take this with a grain of salt, but I'm expecting all significant hazards regardless on Friday, so be hyper weather aware for the next couple of days. And as we get into the models here, now we're going to take a look at the NAM 3 kilometer for this. The furthest this goes out is through Friday evening. Most likely this video is going to happen overnight on Friday, but keep in mind date and times right here if you want to keep track, by the way. Persistent Thursday, all significant hazards are going to be possible, including large hail and high winds with a pretty good chance for tornadoes as well. We can see a squall line is going to roll through with embedded supercells with it as well. I would expect upwards of probably 60 to 70, possibly some areas could get on 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so definitely going to be some power outages tomorrow evening, so be aware of this now. Get what you need now just in case the power goes out for tomorrow, on top of some extreme hail as well. Of course, as we take a look at the significant tornado parameters, this don't mean a tornado is going to happen within this whole area. It just means the ingredients are favorable for tornadic activity. Now, there is going to be some Supercells interacting with this environment by this time as well, and we can see that the tornado parameters are very favorable. We see there's going to be some storms interacting with that favorable environment, so there could be some tornadoes from right around, I would say, 5 o'clock Central Time through 10 o'clock Central Time, so make sure you know your safe spot and have a way to receive alerts just in case that tornado warning goes off. Storm shelter, basement, closet, interior, away from windows. Do that, you'll be just fine. Nothing to be scared about. As long as you're prepared, you're not scared. And then as we move off into Friday, not much data on here for it, but I would expect really much the same story as on Thursday. Gonna be some embedded supercells along a line right around 3 o'clock Central through, I would say, 7 to 8 o'clock Central. And as we take a look at the significant tornado parameters, not expecting it to be as big of a day as it is here on Thursday, but they still issued an enhanced risk for it anyways. Could expect from 3 o'clock through 6 o'clock Central Time, with winds that could potentially gust upwards to not as high as on Thursday, but I would say possibly 50 to 60 mile an hour is what I would say for Friday. Now, it's not showing up as good here on the NAM 3 kilometer since this is so far out in the models, but I will keep y'all posted on X and Facebook what the threats and timing will be, so stay tuned for that, y'all. And of course, for the next couple of days, please be hyper weather aware if you live anywhere within these colored zones here on Thursday, definitely on Friday. So now that we know there's going to be some severe weather in the next few days, and the tropics are heating up in the Atlantic anyway and calming down in the Pacific, so we head towards the end of the month, let's go ahead and take a look at what we could expect as far as the temperatures and precipitation goes for the next couple of weeks. Now, the Climate Prediction Center 8 to 14 day U.S. Hazards Outlook is saying that there's going to be some extreme heat on the 13th up here in the Northeast. So it's looking like we are heading out of false fall and into what's called our second summer, as we were into some very unseasonably cool temperatures last week, and it's looking like we could potentially be heading back into some summertime heat after we were fooled last week. And we can see from the 13th all the way into the 19th, really much of the country is going to be dealing with some very hazardous temperatures. And speaking of the heat, there's an extreme heat warning through 8 p.m. Mountain Time on Friday down here in Arizona. So we were in false fall, and now we're heading back into our second summer. We were fooled last week, y'all. We thought fall was here early, but unfortunately, summertime is back, unfortunately. So make sure you exercise caution out there, use your common sense, stay hydrated, wear sunglasses, just don't overexert yourself pretty much in this heat, y'all. And now let's go ahead and get into how hot it's actually going to be for the lower 48. You can see today we are going to be in the hundreds as far north as Nebraska, 90s as far north as the Canadian border. Going down a little bit tonight. Going to be really, really hot tomorrow. It's what's fueling that severe weather here in the northern plains and upper Midwest. It's going to be the same story on Friday. And as we head into the weekend, going to be still remaining in a heat wave. And it's just going to remain this way for quite some time, y'all. So those cool temperatures we felt last week, unfortunately, was a false fall. Probably not going to feel that again, at least until September, as fall is actually 47 days away from now. We do see our first signs of fall foliage right around, I would say, September 9th time frames when we first see our first signs of fall. And then, of course, as we head into October, we see even more fall foliage, especially down here in the Smoky Mountains, which I do need to go down there and get some footage for y'all of the fall leaves. So we'll be doing that sometime in the near future for y'all. But we can see really as we head into the 13th through the 20th time frame, we're going to be at some scorching heat, y'all. This is the reason why they issued the slight and moderate risk for hazardous temperatures from the 13th to the 20th, almost 100-degree temperatures for a record amount of time. But as we head into the end of the month, it's looking like we could be coming back into a cool down though, y'all. Could be coming in on some relief at right around the 20th. So we're going to go from 100-degree temperatures for a very long time, about a week or so, and then we're going to be cooling back down as we head into the end of the month. Now, it's not the temperatures you got to worry about. It's the dew points. It's the air you can wear, y'all. It's basically the sweatometer. And this makes it even worse out there. It's what makes it so humid and muggy, and it's just makes it icky out there, basically. But we can see it's just going to just remain sticky out there. It's going to feel hotter than it actually is because of the dew point. And the sweatometer is going to be off the charts. And I want to show y'all, before we get into the precipitation outlook, parent temperatures here in the eastern part of the country. And then I'll show you the southwest. But we can see, fast forward this to the 13th. This is when our significant heat is going to be sticking around for a while. we can see that we're going to be in the mid 100s down here in Texas, up into Arkansas, into Tennessee. We're going to be in the 90s. Up in the Northeast, we're going to be in the upper 90s. Somewhere getting in on 100-degree feels like temperatures on top of that humidity, which is going to make it feel even worse out there. And we're going to be dealing with a stretch of 100-degree feels like temperature days for quite some time, at least until as we head into right around August 20th through 22nd time frame. So buckle up, y'all. Summertime's here, and it's not going to be letting go at least until the end of the month. We're going to be getting some relief at the end of the month, though, so just stick around, hold out, y'all. Use your common sense, though, with this heat. Don't overexert yourself and hydrate. As far as Southwest goes, what else is new? It's always hot down there. We can see mid 100-degree temperatures all the way through this weekend, so definitely prepare for that, as extreme heat warnings have already been issued. Don't overexert yourself and make sure you hydrate out there. Feels like temperature is going to be even worse. 110-degree feels like temperatures. But one thing about the Southwest is y'all don't have the humidity we have out here out east. You have that dry air, so it's not as bad, but still 100-degree temperatures anywhere. Really not all that comfortable, obviously, but pretty much you just got to deal with the heat for the next couple of weeks, y'all, and I think we're going to be out of the woods. And enough of me rambling on here. We can see the next 6 to 10 days, obviously, much of the country is going to be coming in on above average temperatures. Next 8 to 14 days, much of the same story. So summertime heat is back, unfortunately, y'all, but I don't think it's going to be here to stay, because once we move into the August 22nd time frame, the end of the month, and especially as we head into September, we're going to be back into those cool temperatures again, and I will have a fall outlook at the end of this month, so stay tuned, y'all, as we are right around 40-something days away from fall, and we should be seeing some fall foliage right around the beginning weeks of September, especially into October. So prepare for the heat is all I'm saying, y'all. Now on to the precipitation and what we could expect for the next couple of weeks. We already know severe weather in the northern central part of the country, and we have a slight risk for heavy precipitation down here in the southwest by Arizona. This is when y'all are coming in on some extreme heat down there, by the way, as well. As we take a look at the precipitation of what we could expect for the next couple of weeks, we already know about that tropical cyclone chance out here by the Carolinas, bringing a lot of heavy precipitation here in the southeast. And we got that severe weather here in the northern plains, which is going to result in a lot of heavy rainfall here in the central and eastern part of the country, at least in the short term as we head into the middle parts of the month. It looks like the western part of the country is going to dry out in the short term as well. But as we head into the 13th through 14th and possibly into the 15th time frame, we're coming in on a lot of heavy precipitation here in the desert southwest by Arizona and New Mexico. That's why they issued the risk that they did for flooding down there. Heading into monsoon season as well. It's coming up, so be aware of that. And it's just looking like we're going to be heading into a very soggy pattern nowadays as we head into the middle and end of the month with potential severe weather. I forgot to mention this, but there could be severe weather here in the central part of the country as we head into the middle parts of the month as well. And the further we go out, the more uncertainty there is for La La Land when it comes to the models. But we can see that 60% chance of cyclone formation. It's going to turn into a low pressure system, potentially a tropical storm as we head into the 20th time frame. Now, this can will change, obviously. Keep y'all informed on X and Facebook. Potentially do what the GFS is showing here, which is going to be recurving, heading out into the Atlantic, or we could possibly have it make a left-hand turn into the Gulf, impact the Gulf Coast states. But of course, don't pay no mind to this. A lot of social media, weather people are going to be showing you all this for clicks and fear-mongering. Don't buy into the fear-mongering. This is over 300 some hours out. Please don't buy into this, as this can and will change. But if this holds true, it's looking like this system is going to be missing us and heading back out into the Atlantic. But of course, like I keep saying and beating the dead horse on, can and will change. Keep y'all updated, of course. And Miami hasn't seen a hurricane or tropical storm in a very long time, and y'all are due for one, so you never know. Don't quote me on this, but this could possibly impact y'all, and I will be keeping y'all updated, of course. Now, as far as precipitation totals go, before we get into the climate 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 day outlook, we're going to take a look at the southeast first and take a look at the National Blended Models, since this is the most reliable model to use. Now we can see how much rain we're going to be expecting once we move past this weekend. A lot of rain expected down here by Florida and the coast of the Carolinas. This is due to that 30% cyclone chance, so definitely be aware of this if you live along the coast of the Carolinas and really much of the southeast. And if you're taking vacations down here, Myrtle Beach area and along the beaches, definitely be aware. Dangerous ocean conditions because of these tropical cyclone chances. And I know we're heading back to school here very soon for the kiddos. I know in my area here in Southern Indiana, a lot of kiddos went back this week. So there's going to be a lot of last minute vacations down here in the Southeast. Be aware of dangerous ocean conditions down there. As far as Southwest goes, move past the 13th and into the 14th. We're going to be coming in on a lot of precipitation. And they did issue a slight risk for heavy precipitation from the 13th through the 17th. We can see that definitely going to be coming in on a lot of precipitation within that time frame. I would expect right around 1 to 1.5 inches of rain. Some areas could get in on 2 inches, and we are coming in on monsoon season, y'all. So definitely be aware of this down there. There's going to be significant flooding possible, as you are still in some significant drought conditions down there, so this is going to help out drastically down there. Now on to the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook by the Climate Protection Center. We can see that the eastern part of the country is going to be coming in on above average precipitation, as well as down here by Arizona and New Mexico, and up here in the northern half of the country. But the western part of the country, like I said earlier, is going to be drying out, so it's looking like below average precipitation is going to be expected out there. Next 8 to 14 days, much of the country is going to be coming in on above average precipitation, except for here in the central part of the country and over here by Nevada and California. But it's looking like much of the country is going to be heading into an above average precipitation pattern, and we could be coming in on some severe weather right around this time, as well as we are going to be heading into some extreme heat in the middle of the month, but then we're going to be cooling back down as we head into the end of August, so be aware of that, y'all. Now, as a thank you for sticking around this far, I appreciate all y'all, by the way. Now here's what the Webb telescope is finding. Now they were in a calibration phase last time I was on here, but it looked like they're finding some exoplanet formations, unlocking new dimensions in eclipse mapping with KELT 8b. As far as the Hubble telescope goes, looks like they're exploring the space program, a sub-Neptune planetary characterization experiment. So there's some stuff that the Webb and Hubble telescope are exploring. Now, to sum up this video, basically, it's going to be hot, essentially, for the next couple of weeks. And then we expect a cool down as we head into right around the 22nd time frame. Other than the heat, the tropics are heating up as we have some activity out there. In the Atlantic anyway. The Eastern Pacific, we have some activity out there, but I would expect Pacific Basin to quiet down a little bit as we head into the end of the month. As far as precipitation goes, I would expect the eastern part of the country to be well above average. It's going to be very soggy here as we head into the middle and really the end of the month. Southwest is going to be above average as well. Monsoon season's right around the corner, y'all, so definitely going to be coming in on well-needed precipitation down there. And as far as the Carolinas go, got that cyclone chance out there through the weekend. Could be bringing a lot of heavy precipitation with it as well, so be aware of that. I don't think it's going to be a tropical storm. At most likely a tropical depression, but that's probably the strongest it'll ever get. So I hope each and every one of y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure you hit that like and share button so more folks are informed about the weather. Also, leave me some feedback in the comment section down below, as any feedback helps provide you, the viewer, better and more informative content in the future. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with bell notifications turned on, because at Here Wayne's Weather, we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. So get ready for the hot weather, and it's looking like the tropics are heating up, at least in the Atlantic anyway. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all y'all for watching. Stay cool and stay dry. Until next time, never stop forecasting.